ever contemplated the deep-seated intricacies of the human psyche? Welcome, brave souls, to the Abyss of Horror, where today we invite you to journey with us into the haunting depths of the Stanford Prison Experiment, an episode that shines a disturbing light on the malleability of our moral compass under the influence of power. It was a seemingly straightforward study in 1971, spearheaded by Dr. Philip Zimbardo at Stanford University. The objective? To investigate the psychological impacts of becoming a prisoner or a prison guard. Volunteers, all college students, were enlisted for what was meant to be a 2-week experiment. Little did they know the darkness that would soon unfold. Participants were arbitrarily assigned roles. Some became guards, while others were labeled as prisoners. This separation immediately created an unspoken hierarchy, establishing a dynamic where the guards possessed an overt authority over the prisoners. But it was merely a study, wasn't it? The setting was a simulated prison environment in the basement of Stanford's psychology department. Barred doors and windows, a strict regimen, and even an imposed dress code rendered a realistic atmosphere. The stage was set, the roles assigned. The participants, enthusiastic and optimistic, could never have foreseen the ominous descent that awaited. As the days rolled on, the initial innocuousness of the experiment began to disintegrate. The guards, intoxicated by their newfound authority, began to demonstrate increasingly oppressive behaviors. They enforced arbitrary rules, dished out punishments, and subjected their inmates to psychological torture. A mere simulation, the environment became alarmingly authentic as the guards sank further into their authoritative roles, their humanity receding with each passing hour. On the flip side, the prisoners, engulfed by their role, began exhibiting signs of intense stress and emotional disturbance. Stripped of their individuality, they were referred to by numbers rather than names. Some began to resist the treatment, while others became docile, accepting their subjugation. It wasn't long before the effects of the imposed power dynamics began to manifest in deeply unsettling ways. As the psychological torment escalated, some prisoners began having breakdowns, displaying symptoms ranging from uncontrollable crying to acute rage. The scenario grew so dire that Dr. Zimbardo, initially just an observer, became absorbed into the narrative, assuming the role of a prison superintendent. The unsettling transformation wasn't exclusive to the participants. Even Zimbardo admitted that he became so enmeshed in the proceedings that he didn't recognize the severity until a fellow psychologist, Christina Maslach, expressed her shock and horror upon seeing the conditions of the prison. A planned 2-week investigation was terminated in just 6 days. The Stanford Prison Experiment revealed the chilling ease with which individuals could abandon their moral compasses when placed in conducive environments. It demonstrated the terrifying potential of the human mind to adapt and evolve based on situational factors, even to the point of cruelty. In the aftermath, the psychological community grappled with the ethical implications of such research. Dr. Zimbardo's experiment, although critically significant, also became synonymous with the importance of ethical considerations in psychological studies. It underscored the necessity of safeguarding participants' well-being and the potential dangers of role-playing experiments. So, dear listeners, as we step out from the dark annals of this haunting episode, we're left to reflect upon our inner selves. How might we act when thrown into similar circumstances? The abyss of the human psyche can indeed be more terrifying than any fiction. The true horror of the Stanford Prison Experiment isn't just in its methodology or findings, but in its profound implications about human nature. What does it say about us, and how thin is the veneer of our civilization? Remember, the darkest stories aren't always those of the supernatural or the unknown, but often those that reveal the hidden corners of our own minds. If you've been gripped by this descent into the human psyche's darkest realms and yearn for more tales that explore the boundaries of human nature, like and subscribe. The Abyss of Horror promises many more chilling tales from history and beyond.